So I wanted to bring people's attention to something that I don't think most people will see, because I didn't see this either, because everybody's so apt to just go to one side of the aisle, read only one side. And when I say reading one side when it comes to news, and it's hard because you have your left wing crazy people, but you have your right wing crazy people too. Okay, so I want to give credit to these people. Before I do that, because I want to tell you, I want to show you what the truth is with the whole spending bill, Musk and Trump, and it's not completely what the far right or the far left are saying. Okay, but first, if I'm sniffling through this, I'm sorry. I have this cold, so I apologize for that. But I wanted to bring people's attention to this because most are not going to. It's Vox. Yeah, they are hardly in the Trump camp, okay? But giving them credit, they managed to be really clear about this story. Yeah, this is their article, okay? And then this was before that, because they did update this article and said that they did pass a continual funding bill. But they make some very interesting points in this article, which I want to bring people's attention to. So what the hell is going on in Congress? President-elect Trump didn't even wait to start his second term before throwing Congress into chaos, sinking a bipartisan spending bill and making his own demands as a government shutdown looms. In one sense, this is just the latest installment of a very familiar story involving House Republicans' dysfunction over spending battles and Trump's willingness to embrace chaos and throw things into disarray. So you could clearly see they're not Trump supporters. The surprising aspect to the current showdown, though, is just what exactly Trump has chosen to pick this fight over. He wants to suspend or even eliminate the debt ceiling. I feel like that forever the debt ceiling has been used as a way for people on the right not to do their job, in my opinion. Because once you're in the debt of over trillions of dollars, then you carrying on about we can't rate, like just eliminate it then. I think honestly most people use it as a scare tactic, just so they don't have to. And that's what the Democrats have said. But here, there's more. This was a pretty fair article, in my opinion. Congress must, quote, I think this was Trump. It was Trump. Congress must get rid of or extend out to perhaps 2029 the ridiculous debt ceiling. Trump posted on his social media platform, Truth Social, early Friday morning. Without this, we should never make a deal. The debt ceiling is the limit set in law of how much new debt the U.S. government can issue. If it's not raised or suspended in time, the country would default on its debt. But most people will say they really don't know what would happen. But the fear mongers, especially on the right, love to play that card. Republicans have used the threat of a debt default to try to force Democratic presidents into policy concessions, and Trump fears Democrats will try something similar against him in 2025. So he wants the debt ceiling suspended right now or even abolished entirely. This was an unexpected turn of events because the initial bipartisan deal just didn't address the debt ceiling at all. It merely funded the government for 3 more months, as well as included several other provisions that had won bipartisan backing. When on Wednesday, billionaire Elon Musk started publicly attacking the deal, he complained about the bill's overspending and also made sometimes inaccurate claims about those add-on provisions. But he said nothing about the debt ceiling, which, if suspended, would allow Trump and Republicans to spend more freely. So see, Elon wasn't saying anything about that because Elon was more interested, and this will go into it, about how it would affect, because Elon has some deals in China with technology. Then, in a Wednesday afternoon statement denouncing the deal, Trump suddenly put the debt ceiling on the agenda. Increasing the debt ceiling is not great, but we'd rather do it on Biden's watch, he posted on Truth Social, calling Republicans foolish and inept for not dealing with this issue earlier and complaining that the debt ceiling guillotine was coming up in June. On Thursday, House Speaker Mike Johnson scrapped the bipartisan deal, dropping several of the add-on provisions and, in accordance with Trump's wishes, adding a debt ceiling increase. Some conservatives who had cheered on Musk's criticism of the initial deal's big spending are now horrified at this turn of events, believing the debt ceiling is a crucial tool to help restrain spending. More than 36 House Republicans broke with Trump to vote against the new bill Thursday evening, and since nearly every House Democrat also opposed it, it failed. But Democrats are still weighing in on how they should handle this unexpected turn of events. Democratic wonks have long hated the debt ceiling, believing irresponsible Republicans used it to take the economy hostage to extort Presidents Obama and Biden, and many would happily see it abolished. However, the party's congressional leaders may hope to preserve it as leverage against Trump and are ill-inclined to give in to Trumpian demands issued from on high if there's a deal. If there's a deal, they want to be part of the deal. What this tells us about the politics of Trump's second term. This situation is still in flux, and we don't yet know how it will end, but already there are a few telling aspects of what's happening. First, though some claim Musk killed the initial bipartisan deal and Trump and Republicans are simply puppets dancing on the strings of the world's richest man, that does not seem like what is actually happening. It is not clear why exactly Musk went so hard against the bill, or whether he was freelancing or working in coordination with Trump. In addition to making complaints about too much government spending, Musk made various false claims, as I said earlier about, he said that it was a 40% pay raise for Congress. Several outlets have said that it wasn't 40%, it was 4%. Some have pointed out that the bill also included restrictions on tech investments in China, where Musk has business interests, wondering whether that was his true motive in coming out against it. That provision was then dropped from Johnson's revised bill. Whatever Musk wanted, once Trump got involved, he turned out to want something entirely different, a debt ceiling increase, and Musk fell behind his strategy. So for all the far left that's carrying on about President Musk, okay, no, clearly not. Trump has the say at the end of the day. But then you're far right that says we can't separate Elon and Trump. Well, Elon wasn't saying anything about ending the debt ceiling. Really, he's the puppet. Second, congressional Republicans are not in lockstep behind Trump on matters of policy, and the internal tensions that have made the party dysfunctional on spending issues still exist. Trump praised Johnson. So Speaker Johnson. So there's a group, Marjorie Taylor Greene, there's a whole bunch of them that want him gone. There's a bunch of him that are in the far right, okay, that want him gone. They say that he does the bidding. Whether he does the bidding for the Democrats, who knows? But you have to pay attention. They're that Turning Point group. And I don't mean the regular people that go with I don't mean the members of Turning. I mean the big faces of the Turning. Okay, they seem to have it out for Johnson, okay? I look at them as your far right. I look at them as the establishment. Trump praised Johnson's revised bill as very good deal, but 38 House Republicans then voted against it. Trump angrily threatened to support a primary challenger to one such Republican, Chip Roy, but Roy was unmoved. Do you know who loves Chip Roy? Glenn Beck and Liz Wheeler. Roy is part of a group of several dozen House Republicans that has long been hostile to any bipartisan spending deals with the Democrats, and that has long made absurdly unrealistic demands for spending cuts. Their unwillingness to back Republican leadership proposals means that in practice, GOP leaders have to rely on Democratic votes to pass government spending bills. Third, Trump's willingness to defy conservative dogma presents opportunity and peril for Democrats. Democratic wonks believe abolishing the debt ceiling would be a great thing for the country and would ultimately benefit future Democratic presidents by removing this tool of GOP hostage taking. And Senator Elizabeth Warren posted on social media, I agree with President-elect Trump that Congress should terminate the debt limit and never again govern by hostage taking. So you see, if you are following the too far right or the too far left, then you won't see the forest for the trees.